G'day everyone. What do we got here? Well, I got my SPA01 Sangamo Schlumberger. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. I don't really know if anybody knows for sure. I've heard a few different pronunciations, so I don't know which one's correct. Anyway, I've wired it up. Safety wise, it's probably about a well, it's not too bad, I mean, but you know, just remember, if you're doing these kinds of, you know, experiments, you know, it's something like 320 or 310 volts peak. So you know, it's actually a lot of voltage. So if you're going to stuff around with electricity, just be very careful. This kind of wiring is not actually legal because it's got primary insulation exposed, and that's actually illegal under AS3000, which is the wiring code in Australia. So please remember that if there's a nick in there from when you stripped back the outer sheath, then the brown wire, in this case brown or red, will be live, and you should be very careful about it, because if you contact that, yeah, you're probably going to die. The other thing is, isolate yourself from ground. Don't lean on any metal cased appliances, or, you know, sinks or benches or anything. And do remember that whilst these cheap meters are great for checking continuity and, you know, ohms resistance, it's quite like this old analog, well, it's actually not old, but quite like this analog meter. If you're going to use one of these cheap ass meters, buy decent probes. Now, these are actually not the best probes. It says it's rated to Cat 4, 600 volts, 20 amps, which is probably bullshit, because the cable's it's not a rated tested cable, no printing on it. So just keep that in mind. Yes, they are decent leads. They're lovely and thick and heavy. The leads that these things come with standard, yeah, I've got to clean the bench up, kind of doing it arse about, doing a video first and then cleaning. Anyway, the leads that these meters come with standard, this one and this one, and this is just a special from, you know, Bunnings, Mitre 10 kind of thing, and this is an actual Digitech one from J-Car. They have no input protection at all. They don't even have a fuse on the actual, see this one, 10 amp maximum, no fuse on the ammeter. This one here, it's got a fuse. I think it's like a 250 milliamp fuse or whatever between the milliamp and the common jack, but between the 20 amp ammeter jack and the common jack, there are no fuses at all. So if you have the leads plugged in the wrong position and you put that across 240 volts with the leads plugged into there and there, this meter will go bang, and it will destroy the meter and possibly kill you. So remember, these meters, any type of cheap meter, not safe on 240 volts. Restrict them to 50 volts or less and you'll probably be safe. Now, this lead is brand new. It came with this meter here, and this is the damage it's had, and it's never been used. It's just sat on a shelf, and I think it might have gotten dropped or knocked off or whatever. You know, this has not been abused. Like, it's obviously suffered some kind of trauma, but the wire's obviously shit, because they don't break like that for no reason. So the more expensive meters are obviously a lot more expensive, but when you get probes like that, you know, they're just rubbish. I wouldn't trust those probes on anything, not even 12 volts. So what do we got hooked up? We got a Breville, probably not a clean Breville, yeah, it needs a bit of a clean, sandwich grill thing. Taking the Landerson Geyer off the wall. Let's turn it on, shall we? The unit's got the indicator neon light on to tell us that it's working. This is doing what it should. If we can hold the camera still, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just try and stop it moving around. So it seems to work well. It's in very good condition. If you can pick one of these SPA01s up, I recommend you do so. They're a lot better made than I originally thought they were going to be. Now let's give that one more click over and I'll conclude the video. Yeah, that makes a very nice noise. Got my fingerprints on it, but it's very good condition. The case, I've been told, and just from looking at it I can tell, is made of Bakelite. It's got a glass front, so it is electronic, but it's not evil. I mean, it's a very good quality meter, so let's see if we can get that right in. Thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, just remember, just be safe around electricity. So you don't want to die, and you know, dying's not a lot of fun, is it? So yeah, just don't do anything stupid, you know. If you're playing with really high voltage, and what I reckon's high voltage is, you know, anything that approaches 100 volts plus, just be careful. Maintain a safe distance at all times. Yeah, like Rodolko says, an Aussie 50, if you're going to work on it, you know, isolate it completely. Don't just rely on a PowerPoint. I mean, I guess the only possible exception is a proper isolator on the switchboard or whatever, but not like a PowerPoint like that. I don't trust them for shit, so yeah. And if you're going to be stuffing around with wires, unplug the damn thing out of the wall. Wires like this are not safe for long-term use. The only way to make this safe is okay, look at Bylock102's video. When he tested his SPA01, he had a junction box underneath the meter and 2 cable glands that keeps all the wiring hidden and protected. Now, when you make the connections, give it a tug, not just a little wussy tug. Give it a decent tug. See, they don't fall out or anything. Make sure they're a secure connection before you apply power. And when you're wiring up a kilowatt hour meter, get out the multimeter, even if it is a cheap piece of shit like this, and ohm it up. If you stuffed it up, you know, obviously you shouldn't have a short circuit between active and neutral, so even if you don't have the diagram, from what I've worked out with my own meters, obviously the current coil is going to be nearly a short circuit, and obviously the potential coil in the meter is going to be higher resistance. So the high resistance coil, you know, you can work out how they're connected. You know, just watch some of the other meter collectors videos to find out more, or refer to the diagram in the cover. If it doesn't have a diagram, make damn sure you got the connections right, because when you flip that switch you might end up with fault current which is several kiloamps. So, oh well, thanks for watching, guys.